I'm sorry, it will sound not so heroic and not so romantic and maybe not so positive, but people don't like losers. And they don't trust them. They don't want to be with any, loser together. It's a pity that it sounds such way.
But that's the reality, isn't it?
That is the reality, and this is the life. It's our life. And in politics, I can underline that it's everywhere, just everywhere, from the war to financing, from military, just to bilateral relations. And of course, mostly, they didn't believe in us, didn't believe that we will stay, and it means didn't believe in us and in me. And I think they thought that we will not stay more than you said already.
But you stayed, and they stayed, and you fought, and then gradually you got the support that you needed. And without that support, you couldn't have fought this war.
Yes. Without that support, we could fight those first days. First days, weeks, maybe months. Months. But not 2 years. Of course not. It's not enough. Otherwise, you have the big volume of casualties, much bigger. You understand, much bigger. Because the cities, you can't defend the cities, and they've been, otherwise, without any huge military support, they've been occupied. If occupied during occupation, a lot of people will be against, a lot of people will run, and if you are against and if you are stay, it means you will lose a lot of these people.
You were an actor in a past life, so you know all about the audience. You've got to persuade the audience. You've got to convince the audience. And you've been very good at that. Do you ever worry that the audience is drifting off, that they might get bored, that they might get distracted, especially now?
First of all, I can tell you, I always been script writer and producer. So acting was such, something just to relax.
You're good at it though, aren't you?
Thank you so much. But I mean that it wasn't, I mean that the idea for me is the first. The idea is the first. And then everything else. I mean that, so the idea, to create the idea, that is the best. Right. The best for me was the most interesting. And of course, you need feeling of audience creating the idea, of course, because you don't create for yourself.
And the idea now is resistance, standing up to Russia.
Yes, but what I want to share with you that maybe I'm not right, but I think that good people, really good people, they can be honest. And I think that honest people are not bad actors, because they don't play somebody, they can play themselves. Just be yourself in the screen. So don't be afraid of the screen. It's about the movie. Don't be afraid of it. And maybe if you have good characters, your own characters, not bad, not good, not bad, people will trust you, because they will see not everything is, positive, because all of us have good and bad traits. It's normal. Yes. And that's why I've been never playing with people in this, in political, during this war political period. That was war political big challenge, and is going on.
I just wonder, I have a question in my mind. If the younger Mr. Zelenskyy, when you were still not in politics, when you were writing your scripts and doing your broadcasts and acting, if that Zelenskyy had known that going into politics would mean leading a country in the middle of the most vicious war since World War II, what would that Mr. Zelensky have said?
It's really, I'm not sure that it's right sounds in English, but I couldn't imagine. That's why I can't say my reaction, because I couldn't imagine when I decided to go to politics. So I couldn't imagine that it can be such war. But I think that people from their childhood, they take it everything from parents and from the friends, from schools and teachers and etc. They are ready to challenges or they are not. Right. And the volume of these challenges doesn't matter for the person, doesn't matter. The war during one day, the crisis during one day, or the war during some years. I think that it's the challenge is for you but you are ready to manage it, big or not big. That's it. So of course I couldn't imagine.
And you're a tough guy.
Not one. Yes, I think yes. I think maybe I became maybe something like this, but I was ready for this. But I think that if you are and around you and people who are in the streets, and if they are tough, and they've been really tough, and if they are really strong, yes, and you have enough understanding of your global response, right. And if you're really normal man or woman, I mean normal person, and you understand your responsibility. That's what I understood from the very beginning. Maybe I didn't know that the war will be such, but I understood that I have responsibility and I will stay in any cases, in any challenges, I have to stay. That's why I think tough people in the streets do tough person president or tough president. Yes, it really depends on the people who are around you. I think that the people who, some of them, they looked really at what I will say and how I will manage all this, and if I will stay in the capital or not. And that's why I think it's also that we gave each other this signal. And I think they become also strong because of this. It was our common responsibility.
So one person I've interviewed some time ago who thinks he's a very tough guy and who always says he hates losers is Donald J. Trump, who could be the next American president. Now we know that Donald Trump has said, when I'm president, this war is over in 24 hours. But in a few words, if you could say to him directly, what would you say to him about his proposition of ending this war?
Well, I think I had possibility to give the message. I think maybe I don't know if his message will have such positive result as he said, because
it could be bluster.
Yeah, it can be just political message. Sure. And that's it. And my attitude to this, the same. Because if it's political message, I don't afraid. Yeah. Okay. I understand election period. I understand difficulties, complicated period for the United States. And so if it's messages, okay.
It's politics.
It's politics, yes. But if it's some formula, I have to know it. Sure.
Have you spoken to him, by the way?
No, I didn't speak with him. But I mean that before the war, yes, I had a visit to United States. Yeah. We had dialogue with him and with his team. Yes. But we never spoke about it. I mean, it's global with details. Yeah. But the period was another. But anyway, we've been occupied.
Would you invite him to Kyiv to come and visit?
With pleasure. Yeah. With pleasure.
Invite him now. Invite him on our program.
Yes, please. Donald Trump, I invite you to Ukraine, to Kyiv. So if you can stop the war during 24 hours, I think it will be enough to come to Kiev.
All right.
In any day, I mean.
We'll make sure that he gets the message. Yeah, I'll make sure he comes.
I mean that, who knows?
Yes.
For example, maybe Donald Trump really has some idea, a real idea, and he can share it with me, and I think it's okay, because it's, I mean that we can't have a secret with our people how to stop the war.
Apart from Donald Trump, there are many Republicans, again, also facing election in Washington, who are now saying, Ukrainian money, not so fast. And I know you spoke to them just a few weeks ago. You were in Washington.
Yeah.
You were very persuasive. And even after that, they said, stop for now. Does that worry you?
I'm worried only because our people and our budget, and we have a gap, financial gap because of the war. And I'm not worrying about with respect, about the congressmen or senators. I mean that I had meeting with them. When I sit with them, in any case, bilaterally, we have dialogue tete-a-tete or in team, mostly, 99.9%, they are on my side.
Of course. Yeah.
It's, yes. And I...
To your face?
To my face.
Do you trust them? Do you think that they are, nice to your face and they say we support you, and then behind your back?
I trust results. I trust results. Before this, we couldn't really survive without U.S. help, U.S. support. It's real fact. And that's why, of course, I trust, mostly I trust. And I count on them today. Yeah, it's true. I can't, even during, my 5 years, almost 5 years, my presidency, and during this war, I saw, from one side, I saw everything. But when I speak with politicians, sometimes I think that I saw nothing. Yes, because...
Give me an example.
Everybody's smiling, everybody's laughing, everybody's crying, hugging you, say that you're resilient, you're so strong, you're the man, you're the leader of the free world, you save our democracy. If Ukrainian people didn't have such president, if such president didn't have such Ukrainian people, we could lose the half of Europe, and then Russia will attack United States and NATO countries, and we have to give you everything.
And then?
Everything what we have. And then, cut.
Helmets.
And then, yes. Not only helmets, they helped a lot, really.
Yes, they have
helped a lot.
Recently,
but
yes.
They helped a lot to stay.
Right.
And I think they could help us more to win.
Because they're doing enough to prevent you from losing, but they're not doing enough to allow you to win this war.
I can't to say, sometimes I have such thoughts like you shared with me now. It's difficult because they helped us, you understand? So that's why I'm
You don't
thankful.
want to be ungrateful.
Yeah, you understand. But I think you understand. Otherwise, it's the question of surviving. So I can't, jump to emotions. Yes, but I don't want to be a liar. I'm honest with you. But sometimes I really can't understand, or I don't want to understand.
But when they say that you are the president that is saving our democracies, that you are the bastion of, the last liberal, on the planet, as it were, no. Do you think they're being sincere? Are they being sincere when they say that?
They are sincere, I think, but maybe not in these words, yes, but not with all the facts which are around them in their relations with China or Russia, in their bilaterals and etc., and on the level of intelligence and in business. They are sincere, but not 100%.
And of course, Britain has been on your side from the very beginning. Prime Minister Johnson, also Prime Minister Sunak was here just last weekend.
On our side.
On your side.
It's true.
And you appreciate that?
I appreciate very much. You know, there are really, UK been with us from first days till now, and I have and had with all your prime ministers.
There've been a few
meetings, some of them, yeah, and but also with intelligence, we have the very good relations on the level of intelligence also between us. But you should know that I have relations with your intelligence, and so I mean that. So we are very open. And I speak with your some leaders. I'm not such person who speaks only with the prime minister or with His Majesty or something like that. No. We are very deep partners, right. And we have very good relations. That's why we speak each time by phone, meetings, official, not official, different.
And that will survive, that relationship, even if we get a new government in the United Kingdom after our election.
That's great with our relations. That's great with your institutions. I think that is.
So even if it's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, he carries on.
During one Queen Elizabeth, you had so many great prime ministers, and. Different challenges, I understand, in the UK during the 20th century also, not only 2021, but always from the books, maybe I'm not right, and now in my relations, we always saw strong institutions. Mm-hmm. So people can be changed, but institutionally, historically, the relations between countries, we have to save. And I think that is my mission with relation with UK, now with Prime Minister Sunak, and after me, somebody will have a relation with someone, Prime Minister with the UK. It's good that I think that we build our relations, but because of this war. Right. We build them very, very strong, and we know that we can count on each other. And
whoever sits in number 10 Downing Street, whoever's the Prime Minister.
In Downing Street and in Bankova. I think so, yes. But because when you have challenging period, you really see who stay with you those days when everybody call you and say, you have 5 days. It was very important moment. Who are with you from the first seconds till now.
How do you imagine this war ends? As long as President Putin is in power in Russia, can there ever be peaceful coexistence between your two countries?
He never will want. Never. He doesn't want any peace with Ukraine.
Does he still want to occupy the whole country?
Yes.
Can you ever imagine signing a piece of paper with Vladimir Putin that involves you saying goodbye to Crimea or to Donbass?
No.
You need it all back. It's yours.
No. If we want to stop him, if the world wants not to have this back again, this aggression in some years, better to manage it. Better,
Even if they say you can be a member of the EU, you can be a member of NATO, but you can't.
Always at such examples, I say really, I didn't have any such proposition, and that's why what to think about. So, if we want really to have peace in Europe, not in Ukraine and in Europe, we really need to understand that Ukraine is really independent. Anyway, political, better to get back all the lands of Ukraine is better for everybody, and political way, of course, because in Donbass, in Crimea, so many cities, so many people, so many citizens, civilians, and during the war, you will lose them a lot. Sure. And of course, it's better to find political way how to get our independence back any ideas, somebody knows that even during 24 hours he can present it.
You're laughing now, and you were, I was going to ask you that. You were, maybe you still are, a funny man, right? You were once a comedian. What makes you, is there anything at all these days that makes you laugh, that cheers you up?
Oh, mostly dogs.
Dogs.
And my
sniffer
children,
dogs in the presidential palace.
I wanted very much. I wanted very much, yes, to have such. No, I have 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs.
You have 2 dogs?
Yes, yes.
They make you happy?
Oh, every time.
Wife,
very funny,
kids?
without any words.
Okay,
you
right.
see, without any words,
Right.
but very funny. It's great.
Dogs are easier than people sometimes, aren't they?
Dogs, easier and honest and very clever.
Mr.
Thank you so
President,
much.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.